Grocery shopping in France is absolutely nothing like grocery shopping in the US. In the US, most people go to the grocery store once per week or once every 2 weeks and stock up on all the items that they need. However, in France, shopping is done every day for the dinner that you will eat that night. In today's video, we will discuss the various places that Parisians shop for their groceries. We will start by talking about the market. Then we'll move on to the various specialty stores, and then we will finish our discussion on when you might actually set foot inside a grocery store. All right, let's get going. Nearly every day of the week, except for Monday, you can find a market in the various neighborhoods of Paris. And as expected, the largest market days are Saturday and Sunday. These are the days when the markets are the largest and have the most commerçants. The market that I'm visiting today is on Avenue Richelieu, right off from Place de Bastille. I'm visiting on a Sunday. As you can see, the market is not just a place to buy food. While there are numerous commerçants selling their fruit, olives, nuts, fish, meat, cheese, and bread, you will also see commerçants selling items such as paper towels, purses, and clothes. You will also see various delicacies from other cultures around the world that you can buy already made. Over time, you will choose your favorite commerçants and you will develop a relationship with them. A trip to the market is not just an opportunity for food, but also a chance to deepen your sense of community and connection. Now, a few logistical points about the markets in Paris. Markets operate on one of two schedules: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Second, items are sold by the kilo. Since I still do not have a grasp of the metric system, I tend to ask for a specific number of items, i.e., 4 oranges, please, or if I want a bunch, 1 head of lettuce. Finally, one thing to note is most sellers do not speak English. So if you want to go to a market the next time you're in Paris, you're going to want to make sure you make a list in French and you try to have some basic phrases handy. In the US, we tend to prefer one-stop shopping. However, the French prefer to go to one store for one particular item. As a result, if you want cheese, you have to go to the fromagerie, the cheese store. And then if you want meat, you have to go to the boucherie, the butcher, and so on and so forth. One of the perks, though, of shopping the market is that you can usually buy most of these items there. However, if you're unable to go to the market for whatever reason, you will then stop by one of the specialty stores. Generally, you will find a whole section of the street lined with these stores. For example, you'll see a fruit and veggie store, cheese store, fish store, butcher, wine shop, and bakery, all positioned right next to each other, like you saw in these images. This makes shopping for the items you happen to need for dinner a lot more convenient. This is where real France happens, as I like to call it. So again, you should not expect to go into these stores and expect everyone to speak English because most people probably will not speak English. One thing, though, that I want to note that was very hard for me to get used to coming from the US was the butcher. Boucheries, as they're called, sell meat. They generally any meat except fish. And while they tend to sell rotisserie chickens, they also sell uncooked chicken. The thing is, however, that the chickens are often sold with the head and claws and even some feathers still attached. You can also find whole pig heads and rabbits for purchase in the boucherie. All of this was a huge shift for me living in the US and definitely made the experience of moving to Paris a whole lot more interesting. One specialty store that is essential for the days when you're simply too tired to cook dinner is Picard. Picard stores tend to be quite small and contain the items that you would generally find in the frozen food section of most American grocery stores. You will find frozen dinners, pizzas, fruits and vegetables, and of course, ice cream. They also tend to have these specific culture weeks. My personal favorite is America Week, where they sell an odd mishmash of what the French think Americans eat. Some items are far too weird for me to try, but the cinnamon rolls they have during America Week are always delicious. Picard is the one store that I probably only visit once per month just to stock up on easy dinner ideas. Now to the final aspect of grocery shopping in Paris, going to an actual grocery store. So we can categorize grocery stores in Paris into kind of three categories. One would be the mini and large general grocery store chains. The next would be natural food and ethnic food stores. And then last but not least, Le Grande Épicerie. So most of the grocery stores in Paris are these small mini versions of the three largest grocery store chains. That's Monoprix, Carrefour, and Franprix. The larger versions of each of those are basically the size of a normal US grocery store, and they're really the closest thing that you would have to a traditional grocery shopping in the US. However, since there's not a lot of space in Paris, you're usually only going to find one of these larger grocery stores in each arrondissement. And I don't mean one of each, I mean just one. So when you're walking around Paris, expect to see the mini versions of these stores. The mini versions are quite small, and these are the places generally, though, where you're going to buy things like your canned goods, your pet food, your toilet paper, your paper towels, etc. You can also, of course, find the foods that you would buy in the specialty stores there. It's just that you're going to have a smaller selection than if you were at the market or a specialty store. So there are a few things that are different between shopping in the US at one of these grocery stores and shopping in France. One is that in France, you have to actually weigh your produce on the scale before you approach the cash register. This really threw me off when I first arrived. The second thing is that in French grocery store, items tend to be grouped by their country of origin. So pasta is not likely going to be found in an aisle labeled pasta as much as it will be found in an aisle labeled Italian cuisine, which makes searching for items a bit complex. Last point I want to note is that grocery stores also have fresh squeezed orange juice machines so that every single day you can have your fresh squeezed orange juice. This, for me, is the best part of French grocery stores. There are also natural and ethnic grocery stores all around Paris. The largest natural grocery store chain is Naturalia. Ethnic grocery stores are all cuisine specific, so you'll find Asian, Italian, Indian, and of course, American. Now, I could not finish this video without talking about La Grande Epicerie. There are two Le Grande Epiceries in Paris, but the one we're going to be touring in this video is located in the 6th, right next to Le Bon Marché. This grocery store is a great place to get items that you would otherwise have a hard time finding at the traditional grocery store chains, both big and small. For example, it is one of the only places that I'm able to find cranberries for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It is also one of the few places I can find some of my favorite hot spices. As with most grocery stores in Paris, items are grouped according to their country of origin. The images you see of the Hershey bars and salsa are all part of the United States aisle. However, La Grande Epicerie also contains the individual specialty sections for cheese, meat, fish, baked goods, etc., just like you would see in each of these individual specialty stores. Additionally, it has an extensive wine section known as a cave. I absolutely love to go to the cave at La Grande Epicerie because you truly can find anything here. Just to briefly orient you for this particular store, the cave with the wine is located in the basement of the store. The groceries are on the main level. The first level consists of actually kitchenwares, and then the second and final level of this particular store consists of home and bedding. Well, there we have it, grocery shopping in Paris. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please feel free to share any questions or thoughts in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Talk to you later.